Hi everyone, and welcome to The Haunted Suitcase. I'm your host Lisa. Today it's actually more of a haunted backpack type of trip. I'm not too far from home today, but I felt drawn to come out here. Recently on the Facebook page for The Haunted Suitcase, I put a poll out that asked, do you think cemeteries are haunted? And the consensus was no. And I kind of leaned that way as well. But I thought if there is any cemetery that would be haunted, this is one. I'm today at Finns Point National Cemetery in Pennsville, New Jersey. There are a couple known reasons why this might be a haunted cemetery. I'm going to turn my spidey senses on today and see what I pick up. I will tell you there are some landscapers in the area, so I'm going to zoom in and not really go into the cemetery too much, and that's fine. Respectfully, I can do my work from here. So thank you for joining me. This is the first vlog, and if you're new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, and share so that it does get out there, so YouTube notices it and promotes it. All right, now, I also wanted to say that this channel is a paranormal channel, but I don't intend on using spirit boxes and EMF detectors. I am a legitimate medium, so I'm going to tune into the energy. You see, because when you investigate in the paranormal, they don't always show up. Even though it might be haunted, they don't always show up. But when you can tune into the energy, well, you can tune into what is actively there and what has been residually there, and so you can get a full paranormal investigation through using the ability to tune into energy. So that's what this channel is all about. So I hope you join me. Are you ready? I hope you said yes. So let's go. Okay, once again, excuse the landscapers. They do have to keep this place nice, and this cemetery is beautiful. It is a cemetery that, of course, has graves, and even up to World War II there are veterans here, and perhaps beyond. On this first monument we come across, this is for the Union soldiers, and there are, I believe, about 183 Union soldiers that perished over here at Fort Delaware, which is at the end of Delaware River into Delaware Bay. It's its own island, Peapatch Island, and that is a monument to them. But what may be the first reason why this at certain times may be a more haunted cemetery? I'm going to move up and show you across the way. The landscapers will be there, will follow along. It's a beautiful day, by the way. It's not too humid. Very nice. Here we are. We're coming up now on a monument. It's a monument, but it's actually a grave. I'm going to come right across from it and perhaps zoom in a little bit, and hopefully you can hear my voice. Oh, sounds like they dug up something. All right. Okay, coming up. Almost there. Okay, almost there. Zooming in. This is the mass grave of 2,436 Confederate soldiers that were killed or perished at Fort Delaware. They were killed by disease, by starvation, I'm sure by other means. Fort Delaware, for those who are Civil War history buffs, excuse the movement, is known as the Andersonville of the North. And if you know about Andersonville in the South, horrific, atrocious, just unnecessary for how the soldiers were treated. And so Fort Delaware is known for the same reputation. You do not have to be a medium to assume that perhaps if 2,436 soldiers are buried here and it's not their land, it's not their home, that maybe there could be some energy here from them. We're going to tune in a bit and see if there is. That's the first reason. There's also, I have to say, this is an energy, perhaps because it's connected to the water, this land. It has other things going on as well. Even though it's a beautiful day, it doesn't hide it. But that is the first reason. The second reason I'm going to scan, because I want to do this respectfully. Okay. This is the caretaker's home at Finn Point National Cemetery. In May of 1997, 25 years ago, last May, spree killer Andrew Cunanan came here to claim his fourth victim before going to Miami on this date 25 years ago, July 15th, 1997, to do what he's, I suppose, famous for, which is killing designer Gianni Versace on the steps of his home. Why I'm being respectful is this is a caretaker's cottage home that is still a home today, I'm sure, and I don't want to be salacious about it. I'm telling you history. In the basement of this home, Andrew Cunanan shot the caretaker William Reese, execution style. And I'm just going to kind of stand here for right now and speak. I'll go over here. Okay. He stole his third victim's car, a Mercedes, from Lee Miglin in the Midwest, and made his way to the East Coast. He found out, I'm going to move over by the road just to get the landscapers more out of my way. I'm going to go onto the street, I think. He came over to Philadelphia, and law enforcement in Philadelphia let it out that they knew he was in the area. He found out, he panicked, he hopped a bridge to try and get rid of the car. And this is the most remote, isolated location you can possibly go to. It is literally at the end of New Jersey Turnpike, the end of Interstate 295. It's a back road. Even today, I'm the only visitor here. So it's as isolated can be. And he drove back here with the Mercedes, and instead of just taking Mr. Reese's truck, he decided to kill him and then take his truck and make his way to Florida. So we have a murder on this land. And I'm now, and again, apologies for the sound, but this is such a beautiful day, and I'm the only one here besides the guys. So I don't want to come back. I'd rather get this done. So I'm just going to back up, and I want to back up anyway. So we'll take a scan, and we will also take one more of the monument through the trees. I'm going to tune in right now and tell you a bit of the energy of this place. And if anyone in spirit does come forward, and I don't have to be up on the grave for them to do that, I can sense them right back here. So I'm going to move back here and give you my take. For one thing, I want to tell you that this over here, this energy, this is all grasslands. connected to Fort Mott State Park, which is next to Finns Point National Cemetery. Over here is also nature, I guess you would call grasslands. There's been groups that have come back here. And the thing is, this is kind of swampy. And I feel like both sides have, I don't know if you could see it because I'm short, but it's like swampland. But I feel like there have been groups back here that have been kind of up to no good, like they sneak out and maybe done more harm than good at times. There's also, interestingly enough, over that hill, over this hill here would be Fort Mott area, which is a military installation. It's no longer in use. It's now more a museum. But even into the 20th century, there were guns stored there and people assigned here. And I feel like there's good energy of that over there. There's also almost from Fort Delaware on the water here. That would be right here on the water. Can't see my finger, but it's right over here. I feel like that energy just pulmonates up into the air and over here as well. So that may very well be connected to these soldiers out there or not, but there's energy. There's also energy. The river is right back here on the other side of that hill over here, in back of the caretaker's home. So any trauma, any tragedies, I feel like there's been perhaps 1 or 2 drownings, that's there. But would that come into the land all the time? Not necessarily. Maybe sounds at night. I feel like you can even hear sounds of people walking like on the other side of this fence. So this is history. This is residual. This is what has happened before. And maybe it was even soldiers that would walk here, but I just feel like there's energy of people who didn't always mean well mixed with people who did mean well. So that energy is of this land as well. So I want to tune in right now and tune into these 2,436 soldiers. And I just kind of want to see if there's any information I can get here. I can tell you that they come more to the left of this monument, and I want to, it's right there. They come more to the left of the monument, and there is more than one. 29 to 30, I'm being told, can come still around. Some bodies have been exhumed, I'm being told, so they're maybe not all there. Or maybe there were more there and some were exhumed. There's a couple that said, I can be home now. Whether my body is here or not, I can be at my home. So some are not connected to their bodies, which is good. But I have to say that there are trees. And those trees, some people may come here at dusk or sneak in at dark, which would be really hard to do. And I feel like they see fireflies sometimes that aren't fireflies. Like there's sparks of light. And even gunfire and cannons can be along that wall out there, beyond this white monument. And that is these soldiers still battling. And they go right along this wall. So we're talking about paranormal noises out here. We're talking about spirit noises. We're talking about of the air, much like you would find perhaps in Gettysburg, where you hear cannon fire or yelling, or I've heard in Gettysburg regiments marching. That, I don't know if it goes that far, but I do know that this field is just not a playground, they say, but it's who they were, there still can be. They're still soldiers at heart. William is a big name. It's just not William Reese, the caregiver that was here, but there's a William soldier that trails right along this wall. I would not be surprised if, I'm not going to look at every stone, but there's stones over here as well on the other side of this road, that there might be another William as well. There was definitely a Confederate William that liked to be around this wall. So we are living out who we are as a soldier, whether we have perished or not. It's just in their soul. It's just in their spirit. Though they are now in heaven, and that was a long time ago, over, almost 160 years ago, and they have much more knowledge, much more understanding of it all. I still feel that it's a part of who they are, and they can't let it go completely. Now, I do not tell you, would not tell you to come out, try to come out here at dusk or dark. You'd have to have permission. But if you were to, I think you'd see some shadows. I think you would see some firefly lights that aren't their spirit lights. I think you might hear, well, I'm being told, a lack of calm. So, yeah, this place does have it now, but it's not 2000. Many of them feel very settled and all right. It's just some that have it in their bones. They just have it in their bones. And they understand that there is freedom now. They understand the choices that were made. They are proud of where they came from. But they still have this soldier in their bones, this soldier in their heart, and they need to clear it out. They say they just need to clear it out from themselves, so they do. And they do it. I guess they want to be close to their remains when they're doing it, and well, that's fine. And plus, this is, as I said, in its history, a military complex and a national military cemetery, so they don't mind it playing out over here. I can tell you a lot of them do not want to be at Pea Patch Island. They do not want to be over in Fort Delaware. That was awful for them. They suffered there. I think only a small amount, maybe 10 to 12 will be over there and visit. They like to play out who they are in a more safer way. And so they find they can do that here. They can let their soldier come out and then also visit home whenever they want to. So now, let me see what else I get. Waving to some visitors. They're all good. Yeah, they love it. These guys signed up for a cause that they just love. Okay, so anything more? I did connect with them, by the way. They're the ones telling me that. There's a few of them. They're standing actually right here, right along this wall, and they're like, we just love it. And we're having, we weirdly enough, they don't remember the suffering. They want to remember what they thought were the enjoyable times, the friendships, the relationships, the music, the camaraderie, the brothers in arms. That's what they're experiencing here, and they're able to do it. And then they let it go, and they go back where they came from. And so in a weird way, they think it's a good time. They think it's a good time, but you might run into one. If you're gonna sneak out here and you go along this wall, or even on a particularly, want to say, different day, maybe an anniversary or something, you might see a shadow. You might run into a figure that's dressed up, and you assume it's an interpreter. So I see them intuitively, not really intuitively, but through my awareness. And but it's, you catch it at the right time, you might have an experience. Remember, the lights aren't always what you think the lights are. So we're going to go back now, and we're going to, as respectfully and non-invasively as much as possible, speak of William Reese and the Caregiver Cottage. And I don't, for those of you, you're welcome to comment, by the way, but for those of you who want to comment about my attempt to make Andrew Cunanan famous, he wanted to make himself famous. Last hurrah was Gianni Versace. I'm not promoting that. I am just here to tune in to where history has taken place and to investigate. And we've already caught that there are, is the other side that does come here. So I want to see if he does as well. Now, this is a hardworking, humble man, a giving man, a generous man, and who has a family. And I believe his family, his wife, his child that grew up some more years after he passed 25 years ago have both joined him in heaven. If you know differently, please comment below, but I do feel, I'm going to go over here because the visitors are walking back. If you do know anything differently, please tell me, but I feel like they're all together, and that is all right, they feel. That is good. I feel this man is still a caretaker, but what I call his home haunted. Let me see. He goes on these lands more. He's in the main area and upstairs of this home. He occasionally goes into the basement, but just a couple times, like when he feels there's work that needs to be done there, or he needs something for work there, because energetically he still wants to work. But he says he's not in this home a lot. He feels very protective of it, and he does feel a safety when he's here. One moment. I'm connecting to him. He knows that a wife is all right, and he loves that he's part of his family again. See, I think they're all in heaven. He didn't feel, oops, landscaper. This happens quickly for him. He does not feel, he does not suffer. It's all fast for him, he says. And then he stays until he is discovered. And I have to give you these, what he's telling me. I'm giving you what he's telling me. Respectfully. I am all right. He comes to help the workers. He's been watching these workers. And he does quite a lot. Now, I know his name is William Reese, but he's bringing up a Donald that is important to him. That is very special to him. And he is also around him a lot. So I don't know if that is family or friend. I just know he complains too much, but I'm there for him. So that I wonder then if that is not somebody who's still on earth. He likes to come around and help. He has seen victories of sorts since he passed, so he feels that this land, the home, the park has had victories. And he's very pleased by that. And he's all right with the events that happen. He understands it very plainly, but he does not want to speak about all of that today very fully, and that's fine. I don't blame him. But he understands the purpose. He does. And that's all he said he needed to say about it. And so that means he is at peace. And I hear his family behind him saying we all are at peace. Now, I'll tell you, I feel there has been maybe a paranormal investigation there, or more than one perhaps, but at least one. And he's like, I wasn't going to help out with that. I wasn't going to be a part of that. He just didn't feel right. It's not that he didn't like it. He just didn't feel right about it. So he, I don't think they got a whole lot on him, if anything. But I'm scanning. But he, he is pleased with how everything has been, and again, very much at peace. He also understands about Mr. Cunanan, Mr. Andrew Cunanan as well. I almost didn't want to say Mr., though it is not my role to judge him. My right. But he, was explaining. The answers are there for both of them as to the why. What was to be the outcome? What was the reasons behind it all? So my impression is that anybody who's living in this home currently is probably going to see or feel his presence, maybe something out of the corner of the eye, maybe footsteps upstairs, maybe a noise in the basement. Maybe 50% of the time, it's not overly haunted. It doesn't have a lot of bad energy. It is a home in a lot of ways. He respects his property so much. He loved his job. And so he's not going to do anything to make anyone feel uncomfortable. He just, is just still wanting to help. He's a generous man who still wants to help. That's how he was in life, and that's how he is in heaven as well. We're just giving a little look. See the graves? It's a beautiful, peaceful place. I wish I didn't come here when they were working, but at the same time, they're making it a wonderful, beautiful home out there. It looks like they're cutting down trees and such, so we want them to do that. All right. I want to see what else I get of this land. I feel like someone was attacked out here, like maybe a female. Not to say it wasn't necessarily reported, but as I said, there are groups that come out here or have come out here, and I just feel, you know, one is on the other side of this fence, and then they've managed to get in there too. But that's negative energy that may also be here, that may reciprocate around here from time to time, but honestly minimal. I would look around. I would look around this whole fence line if I came out here in the dusk, and I'd be taking pictures. I would. But it's sunny today, so nothing, no orbs are going to come up, no little firefly signs, no nothing. But oh boy, yeah, there is energy out here. There truly is. It's almost like a wall. A wall goes around this place, and it's a mix of, it's a history coming to life along this wall. I want to see what else I pick up before I finish my recording for today. Yeah, very positive. Mr. East is very positive. I'm all right. Yeah. And the soldiers. There's soldiers from other wars that come through here, but they may be visiting their resting places too. Families come out here, so there's a mix of the great energy and the energy of the past that is good also, but also not so good at times too. All right. So that's my take of Finns Point National Cemetery. Do I think it's haunted? I'll say this. I think it has more energy than the average cemetery. But would I say it's very haunted? No. But it does have energy, and I encourage you to be respectful of it. I encourage you to come and visit and to be respectful. You're welcome to ghost hunt. I don't know if you could do it, you know, past dusk. I think they have hours. I tried to get away from him, and here he comes. 1 minute. If you liked this, please like, subscribe, and share. And please comment below. You're welcome to. And thank you for joining me for this episode of The Haunted Suitcase from Finns Point National Cemetery in Pennsville. And energy's all around us. Open up your awareness. It's right there. Take care. Until next time.